You are listening to WCCU Radio. We are here with another episode of King of the Court. We got a great battle going this week. We got last week's winner in Braxton versus, the most anticipated challenger in Caleb. It should be a great week this week. I'm excited for this one, guys. How are we feeling?
Yeah, man, I'm psyched up, man. It's a Hail Mary takeover, Hail Mary TV takeover.
Come on now,
baby. Come on.
come on now.
Yeah, man. This is amazing. I'm so excited.
I'm so pumped too to do this. Braxton, I know knows a lot of ball.
Likewise.
So I'm ready for this. Like Braxton said, Hail Mary TV takeover. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm pumped. I'm super hyped for this.
Yeah, this should be going, for those of you listening right now. This is this one's also recorded here. This is our first ever recording at the radio.
Shout out Cristian Mitchell.
Yeah, C. Mitch.
C. Mitch.
Shout out C. Mitch, baby.
Did it,
I actually thought he was gonna bless us with his presence today,
No,
but
he never does.
Nah.
I don't know where
He's
he's
too
at.
busy.
Haven't seen
Man
him.
of many jobs. He
Haven't
got too
seen
much
him on
going
campus yet.
Too cool for the kids.
Too cool, man. He got too much going on.
But
Big
yeah,
unit.
it
He's
should
a
be
unit
going.
now.
So you can just see Caleb and Braxton yell at each other, and get in their faces. Yeah, it should be a good one. So our topics today, we're gonna start with what is the hardest position to play in football. It should be a good one. I feel like there's two big ones here.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get into the biggest what if in sports history. There's plenty of that out there. We've had many guys' career cut short due to injuries and stuff like that. And then we're gonna end with the greatest rivalry in sports, which there's many out there. You got Lakers, Celtics. You got Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, Alabama, Red Sox, Yankees, Eagles, Cowboys. I mean, there's plenty. Even you got Curry versus LeBron. You can go,
Yeah.
you can go anywhere. Yeah, it should be a good one. And a quick rundown for those of you first-time listeners who don't know how the show works. So we're gonna come back with segment one, and Braxton and Caleb. We're gonna do a little rock paper scissors, see who goes first. And then or to see if they choose to go first or second. And then, we're going to do that for each segment. And, at the end of the show, I'll be taking notes while they make their arguments. And at the end of the show, I will determine the winner. And the winner will be the winner of this week's King of the Court. And we'll be on the show again next week against a new challenger. So, yeah, it should be exciting. And we're going to get into our first topic when we come back from the break. You're listening to WCCU Radio. You are listening to WCCU Radio, Coastal Carolina's student-run radio station. Back here with King of the Court. All right. So do you guys want to do a little rock paper scissors, or does
We've discussed.
you discussed? All right.
We discussed.
Yeah, it's fine.
Who's gonna take the floor here to get us started?
I'll take the floor in the first round. He'll get the next one.
All right,
Okay,
Braxton. Hardest position to play in football. Get us rolling.
I think most of the time people are going to say QB.
Yeah.
Right. Which I understand. I'm going to go with cornerback. I
Okay.
think cornerback is really the hardest position in football because one, you have to have a high level of football IQ, not just for who you're going against on all sides of the field at receiver, right? Not just the one, not just the two, and not just the slot or the tight ends if you're playing nickel. Also, you really have the smallest margin of error, in ever. And the only one that could really compete with that is QB. You make one misstep, well, you kind of just blew up the whole play if it's man coverage. And if you don't bite your zone enough or you don't read the eyes of the QB, well, you just costed a first down, and if not more. But not just that, you have to make the tackle. You're most of the time undersized compared to a lot of those receivers. And secondly, you are playing with the leverage and the balance that you're going against because the receiver is coming at you. You have to work with him, and you don't know what his next move is, and that's your job, is to try to match what he is doing. So I think cornerback is the hardest position in football.
I think that's completely fair. I actually thought you were gonna go quarterback.
Yeah,
I
wanted to be different.
That was my mindset going into
Yeah.
it too, because I was deciding between defense.
Great minds think
Come on
alike.
now,
Come on.
So I was thinking differently too, and I was deciding between DB and what I'm eventually gonna say. But I also think you could boil that down to DB being the hardest position. I think you can boil that down to nickel, especially in the modern NFL way you think about it now. Because now you have to tackle, you have to be strong side linebacker, essentially. You have to play in the box.
I mean, it especially depends on what defense you are. You're in a 3-4.
Exactly.
You play a bigger role at that nickel spot.
I think about Mike Sanders still, Drew Phillips.
Yeah.
You know, those guys in the nickel position, and I know I'm kind of helping your point here, but those guys in the nickel position have one of the hardest jobs on the field because, you know, you also have to be versatile and cover a big tight end.
For sure.
You know, run for a tight end and then take him to the ground too. So I do think that's a fair point. But, you know, I'm not going to go quarterback.
Okay.
I'm going to go with center.
Okay.
I think
love that.
I think center is up there. I think QB, DB, and center are probably the top three hardest positions.
For sure. I love this move. Love this route. Yeah, let's do it.
Top 3 hardest positions in the game. You know, I want you guys to put yourself in the position of a center who has a rookie quarterback.
Right.
You know, when you have a rookie quarterback, your quarterback cannot make all the calls at the line. The center and quarterback are communicating within 10 to 15 seconds. They have to figure out what they're doing, which way we're going to send the line to whichever side the pressure is coming from, and, you know, how our protection is going to get set up. And, you know, based on what we're seeing once we come out of the huddle, because one thing, I mean, the play call, the protection's already set up, but then you got to adjust to when you come out in the huddle. And all this is having to be made within 15 seconds because the ball's got to get snapped. And, you know, I think which kind of helps my point is, you know, Justin Herbert and his center going. I don't know if you guys seen that video, but Justin Herbert and his center communicating before the snap. You know, the center was getting ready to send the line one way, and Justin Herbert said no at 1 second, and the ball is snapped. So all this communication is going on, and mind you, these guys have to snap the ball, make sure the snap is good. Oh. Also, there's the possibility that a human like Dexter Lawrence or Jones
100%
is right in front of your face, maybe half a yard in front of your face, like, and you have to snap the ball, get in a good pass set or run blocking set. Like, think about this too. You got to snap the ball on a run play. Let's say we're running an outside zone.
Yeah.
Typically on an outside zone, the whole line, if we're going to the right, we're taking a bucket step. Swinging our body out, getting our left foot to drive forward and swinging our hips around to block this huge human so that the whole play doesn't get blown up. You're having to do all of this while making sure, you know, that the play is going in the right direction and that the ball is getting to the quarterback. It's a lot going on more than just blocking somebody. When there's a lot to think about. It's a hard position to do. It's a hard job to do, and you still got to protect your quarterback.
I mean, like, and you think about it at the same time, other than quarterback, your center is your other captain.
Yeah.
He is the captain of that offensive line, and he has to have, you know, top-notch command and communication with that offense. He plays such a big role, not just of the O-line itself. You are also identifying the Mike, the Will, and the Sam.
Yep.
You're helping your QB out with that. And, you know, guys that really depend on their O-line, such as, you know, I'm going to say Panthers, like Bryce Young, really depends on his O-line to succeed. That helps a lot to have a good center.
Well, I take it back to the Eagles in early on Jalen Hurts' career when they still had Jason Kelce.
Yes.
Kelce was making all the calls at the line, you know, helping Jalen Hurts out, IDing the Mike, like you said, Braxton. And, you know, just that's why having a veteran center like Jason Kelce is so beneficial for your offense because you know you're going to be in the right play. And even if the QB gets it wrong, slides the protection the wrong way, because, how many times do we see that? You know, the center could check back into it and check the QB and get the line going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, also, Braxton made a point about how if a DB like falls down or something in man coverage, well, if a center gets blown up, if you don't do your job, that's pressure coming right up the middle.
Yeah.
Like, let's say we're running inside zone. We're trying to hit the A to B gap. That's where the running back is reading. Center gets blown up. Where's the A gap? Right next to the
next to center. Yeah,
like,
no.
The play is getting blown up. Like, it starts with you. Like we say, it starts with the line. Well, it starts with the line, but it starts with the center too. It starts with the center and the guards. If you get pressure coming up the middle, the play's dead. The play is absolutely dead.
Yeah, and you know, but also I think one of the things about cornerbacks that also makes it a hard position is also when we look at the primes of these top cornerbacks in the NFL, what is it? I think it's max 5 years most of the time. Because we look at a guy like Jalen Ramsey now, we saw what happened last night, right? We saw what happened. It was bad.
Franchise record setting.
Yeah, it was bad. a lot of these guys that are cornerbacks, they really have that one big year that one big contract that they have, and that's their prime. They don't really turn out to be anything once they get past what I'd say 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 range. Because of the skill set that you have to have. You have to be a hybrid guy. You can't be just a physical guy. If you're just physical, you're not going to succeed at cornerback. You have to be hybrid. You have to be a specific skill set at cornerback. Whether you're tall, then you have a role on the outside receivers.
Yeah.
If you're physical, you have a role on the outside receivers. But like we said, when we talk about the nickel, you also play a very difficult role because some of the time you're going against a tight end.
Yeah,
And
you're
the
also
nickel
run
spot.
support too.
Right, and
have,
your run
have
support.
gaps. You have gap responsibilities on defense for run
And,
support.
and that's the thing, because sometimes you want to blame it on your safeties when it comes to zone defense and stuff. But if you didn't really succeed in your zone because you didn't read the quarterback correctly, or you didn't guard the receiver well or bite on him at the right time, that's on you.
Yeah, I got to get hands on.
Yeah. And speaking of hands on, that's another difficult thing. Most of the flags in the league either comes from offensive line holding or defensive pass interference or holding, because of how physical these receivers are and how fast they are. It's hard to keep up, and you don't know their next move, which honestly helps me solidify my point of how difficult defensive back is, how difficult being a cornerback is, especially against some of the top receivers in the league. Like, I wouldn't wish anybody in this world to go and get Jamar Chase in one-on-one coverage.
It's tough too, but kind of finishing off my point here, like they have. I feel like the centers have just as much going on as the quarterback, maybe slightly less, because they don't have to worry about the routes, but the centers still have to worry about where the protection is coming from, or not where the protection, where the pressure is coming from, rather. And also they have to get ready to block somebody, like block these agile, huge humans that are 300 plus and have to do it well and efficient at a high level. So
I think that was great. I love that. I thought someone was gonna say quarterback. Nobody went that direction. I love to hear that.
I want to be different, man.
We'll be back with topic number 2 after the break. Welcome back to WCC Radio. Jalen Hurts is a bum. All right.
We did actually sneak it in. All right.
Here we're gonna get topic
Christian's gonna have a lot of fun editing this audio.
He might edit that out. I can see him doing
it. We're gonna get topic 2 rolling here with biggest what if in sports, and Caleb's gonna go first here. All right, Caleb, the floor is yours.
All right, I appreciate that, Nick. Biggest what if in sports. I was thinking a couple ways I could have went with this, but I'm gonna go with a player. I'm gonna go out to my home state, Maryland. Len Bias, DC native, played at UMD during the 80s. Kind of had a little bit of a rivalry with Jordan, back when Maryland was still in the ACC. Obviously, Jordan went to North Carolina. A lot of people talk about Len Bias as a rival to Michael Jordan, and it's a huge what if, because first of all, he got drafted by the Celtics in '86.
Yeah,
Bird was on his decline. But he didn't hit it yet. Bird was still like that group that they had together, that Boston had together with Bird. They were definitely on the back end of their careers, but they were still able to play. You mix in a young Len Bias with that, like the Celtics might be able to. We might be talking about 20 rings for the Celtics right now, or 21. Like the Celtics still would have been like, you would have had time for Bias to develop, and also still be able to, like, you still learn how to win championships because of Bird and that group that they already had established there in Boston. Then once they get out the door, we know Boston went on decline. The Bulls took over with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Does that happen? I don't think so. I think Bias with him there, with his early development, I think the Celtics kind of control the East for a little bit. And maybe Jordan definitely doesn't have 6 rings. Maybe he has 2 or 3. And I really think it's just for the East. Honestly, in the NBA, I really think it's a Boston Celtics and Bulls NBA for the 90s, for their whole career. And I don't know, like, just think about if this guy was able to play. Is Michael Jordan who we know today? I don't know. does like the shoe deals, everything. Like if this guy was able to play, like, does it change the whole trajectory of basketball, like
just the
basketball
entire
history? Like,
I mean, yeah.
It like you have to think that it has to alter it.
I mean, yeah.
Bit.
I mean, Michael Jordan is basketball history, is basketball lore.
I mean, this like Bias was a bucket. Like he in his senior year at Maryland averaged 23 points. Like
that's unreal in college.
In college, that's unreal. Averaged 23. You know, he was 1-3 against Michael Jordan in college. But again, we don't know if that's changed.
College.
Exactly. And think about what he was inheriting going to the Celtics.
Yeah.
The Bulls weren't the Bulls yet. Like, I'm telling you, I really do believe that the Celtics would have controlled the East. Definitely in the late 80s, mid 90s. I don't know. I don't know what happens in the mid 90s because of Jordan being there and Jordan's development and who he ended up being. But I just can't help but think what the league would have looked like if Len Bias, didn't pass away.
Yeah.
Yeah. In basketball terms, Caleb's gonna alley it to me because you're not gonna believe who I'm gonna talk about.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So my biggest what if, and it's solely because of the impact that it really had on the sports world, was what if Jordan didn't retire for those 2 years? Go play baseball.
Yeah.
Because let's think about it. And I don't know, like I understand his father passed away and he wanted to do it for his father, right? And I understand that. You won 3 straight championships.
They did.
Back to back to back.
Yeah.
It was the same team.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we understand the impact Jordan had because they fell short in the playoffs because what were they missing? Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? That team could have won possibly 8 championships.
I think they would have.
I think the decade would have been theirs.
In a row.
Yeah.
Because when Michael came back, obviously he was good. He was not the same. Mm-hmm. Right? The Bulls lost a lot of key players since that time that he did come back. But during that time where he was retired, we have to understand who he was really going against as well. The Rockets were back-to-back champions with Hakeem, right? If Jordan was there on those Bull teams, right? There is 100% a chance that they would have won those championships. But not just that. The impact that they would have had in the NBA, yes, when he retired, the sports world was in a panic. Like, what in the world is happening?
Yeah.
And NBA was reaching to be one of the biggest global sports in the world, right? But imagine what the NBA could be if Michael didn't retire. What if Michael won 2 more championships? But not just that, what they could have done even after that if he stayed. Would we even be having this LeBron and Jordan debate?
I mean, all right, I'm going to challenge you on that.
Uh-huh.
So let's say he wins 8 in a row, right?
Yes.
Does that really help the NBA? Like, I mean, because if he wins 8 in a row, doesn't that make the rest of the league look bad? Like, think about how we felt when the Warriors just kept on winning. Or not even just the Warriors, when it was just Warriors and Cavs every year.
Yeah, everybody was sick of it.
Fatigue. You get fatigue.
Right.
And at an important point, or an important time in the NBA, rather, where they're trying to grow the game. Because at that time, early 90s, NBA, just the 90s in general, that's when the come up happened. Because then you get the Jordan commercials, the Jordan shoes, and all that. Winning 8 in a row, does that help the popularity of the NBA? It kind of makes the rest of the league look bad.
Well, the tough part about that is because when we're talking internationally, do a lot of these fans from outside of the U.S. really care about the teams? They really care about the player. When you think about if you go to Japan and you see anyone in a Golden State jersey, I'm pretty sure 99% of the time it's probably a Steph Curry jersey.
Yeah.
If you go to, let's say, France and you see someone wear a Bulls jersey in the 90s, it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Well, does Jordan even retire if Len Bias is around?
Okay. See, here's the thing about
I could really as you told me, I was kind of spinning in different ways.
Yeah.
So does Jordan even retire if Len Bias is around? That's one.
Okay.
2, if Len Bias is around, think about what we got right now. We got Magic, Len Bias. So Magic and Len Bias only help the Celtics and Lakers rivalry because now you got a rising star, an aging star. But now at the time I would think that rising star and Len Bias is starting to take over be that one option for the team,
Uh-huh.
right? So now you got that. So, but then you have a young rivalry in Len Bias and Michael Jordan, two young guys going at it. I'm trying to think of who to kind of relate it to. Kind of like, I mean, I guess Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow when Joe Burrow was like knocking off the Chiefs.
Right.
When that first came around, everybody just loved it. We love competition.
Right.
We love a rivalry. And that would have been, I mean, it started in college and it would have translated to the NBA. So now you have all this going. Converse probably signs Len Bias for a shoe deal or something. Like there's so much there's so many hypotheticals where you can go here that only help the popularity of the NBA because you have young stars rising and you have these two and Len Bias and Michael Jordan being the face of the league. And think about the marketing and all the they could have dove into this rivalry, put everything they had into this rivalry and just marketed it. Then you have Boston and Chicago fans, two big cities, two big, huge sports fan bases, going at each other because of these two guys.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, if Bias is around, the popularity of the NBA definitely. I feel like it makes it easier. It almost makes the marketing guys their job too easy.
You throw up a great. How much time we have?
We got a minute and a half.
Okay, and you throw up a great point, right? But I look-y want to move this argument into the way of, like, would this Jordan and LeBron conversation even happen if Jordan didn't retire and he has 8?
I mean, I don't think so. I feel like
because
if 8 in a row, like that's absurd,
right?
Like it's never been that type of dominance,
right? Because I think honestly, if you definitely ask our generation, and I include, and I'm a huge MJ fan, I think we can all agree that LeBron is probably the GOAT of the NBA for sure. But if Michael won 8 championships because he did not retire, there might not be an argument.
There is you can't. I mean, what are you gonna
eight championships?
What are you gonna what's the rebuttal? Especially because Braun really should have 5 rings by now.
Yeah,
he should have 5 because they should have lost to Dallas. They overlooked Dallas.
Yeah,
and that finals loss. Sorry, Nick. That finals loss is just so bad, and so that's a rebuttal from a Jordan fan. And then you add in the 8 rings, and it's almost no argument.
There's no argument. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's also not just 8. It's 8 in a row.
Yeah. It's not just. Yeah, that's another thing.
That'd be
8 in a row.
Unreal.
Yeah. All right, that was a great debate. I like the directions. Some different directions went in there. We'll be back for the final topic after the break. You're listening to WCC Radio.
Can we just talk ball all day? Come on, man. Like, this is I'm having way too much fun with this.
Do we have to end like.
Welcome back to WCCU Radio, Coastal Carolina's student-run radio station. All right, gentlemen. Final topic of the day: the greatest rivalry in sports. Do we know who wants to go first? Do you want to?
Yeah. I'll go first because I knew coming in before this I could not mention Michigan and Ohio State with the Michigan fan over here. I had to get in that. Had to get in that. All right. All right, that's enough. All right, so I'm going to go biggest rivalry in sports. I played baseball my whole life, so I'm going Red Sox and Yankees. Okay, it is arguably the oldest rivalry in sports. We're talking over 120 years of this rivalry. Goes back to the Babe Ruth days, and that's kind of where it started. This rivalry, right? Because that was when the Red Sox pretty much sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees in 1919. And it changed baseball forever. Because when you think of Babe Ruth, what team do you think of him playing for?
Yankees. Come on.
Right, exactly. Yankees. Come on. But not just that. If you watch a Yankees-Red Sox game, and even in the playoffs this year, the tension is out of this world. Yeah. It is at every single pitch. That seems like hatred.
Can I speak on that real quick?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go fast. My roommates are from New York. Big Yankee fans or whatever, right? So after I think game 2 or whichever, game 2 because the Yankees won game 2, right? Yeah. Yankees won game 2. And we were on our balcony, and there was a guy in a Red Sox jersey walking by, and they just started arguing on our balcony. Just started arguing, a whole bunch of FUs and all of that. And I'm just sitting back, Like,
And then the kid from Boston, Cam Schlittler, in Game 3.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness,
yeah,
yeah, man. Imagine what New England like the tension in the New England area
yeah.
was probably out of this world. I know Mets fans were just sitting there popcorn, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was just a ton of iconic moments that happens because somehow, some way, it feels like they always seem to go against each other in playoffs when it does happen, when they both make it. So I want to talk about some of those moments. Aaron Boone's walk off in 2003 in the ALCS really, really, really sparked the hatred
Yeah.
when it came to the 2000s. One, because Aaron Boone is now the manager for the Yankees, and
Unfortunately.
that man hates the Red Sox
Yeah.
with an ultimate passion that you can't even describe it.
Mhm.
Okay, but also in 2004, the ALCS comeback when Boston became the first team ever to overcome a 3-0 deficit against the Yankees, and they went on to win their first title since 1918. It was the historic moments in this rivalry that just fueled. It's literally like you said, a lighter to that thing, and that's what the game is. It's just the
Yeah.
tension is out of this world, and there is a true hate between these teams. The brawls, I swear, it happens every year, at least once.
The A-Rod versus
Yes,
Thursday,
the
too.
A.
It's so entertaining.
Yes.
It's so entertaining.
And I'm pretty sure if you wear a jersey, and this is pretty much for anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same way for Michigan and Ohio State.
Oh, it's
You
coming.
wear an opposing jersey
Oh yeah.
and to the game,
Yeah.
there's a chance you die.
You're cooked.
There's a chance
Yeah.
you die.
And I feel like being here, we see it like it's really evident here because a lot of our schools from the
Oh, yeah.
the Northeast.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mask people here
Mhm.
and a lot of New York people here, and so when those two in any sport, like even Knicks Celtics, which I'm not even gonna look at you, Nick.
Yeah. Okay, buddy.
But even like Knicks Celtics, like Giants Patriots, like like any Boston and New York sport, you're gonna get buddy.
Come on,
guaranteed.
yeah.
You're gonna get buddy.
Some of the
guaranteed.
best rivalries ever.
I just couldn't fathom liking a New York team being like 60% New York and then being a Boston sports fan for one other sport.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It just makes no sense at all. Do you think
Can't
that makes
do that.
sense, Braxton?
Yeah, no, makes
No.
Can't
do that.
There's someone in here who
makes no sense.
That's odd.
Yeah.
I feel like he's
yeah.
some gibberish in the background
Yeah,
while
yeah.
we're talking.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's some,
Yeah, I just don't.
All right.
I feel like that
It's-
just shouldn't
all
be
right,
allowed.
Braxton, you win.
All right, go ahead, Caleb.
Oh, you boys know where I'm going. I'm gonna be a homer here. I don't care. I could care less. Greatest rivalry in sports: Michigan, Ohio State. All right, the game. Just like Braxton said. You even wear a jersey. You mentioned they X out the M's. Ohio State does in every you can't say M. It's just the team up north. They don't even say our names. They don't even acknowledge their fathers. Like that. That's how disrespectful this rivalry is. You look at what happened last year. Okay, first everybody thought, including myself, that Ohio State was going to kick our teeth in.
Yeah.
What happened? Khalil Mullings happened. That's
Unreal,
what happened.
unreal.
Just ran it down their throats, belittled them, outmanned them, and then planted our flag, took over the shoe, and we saw the reaction it created.
Yeah.
If that doesn't scream a rivalry to you, I don't know if you watch sports, honestly. Like, the hatred runs so deep, and it's so nice that they haven't beat us in 4 years. It's great. It's amazing because they were kicking our teeth in time after time again.
Yeah, they won like 9 in a row.
Yeah, well, okay, hold on, because I got to get this off my chest because every time I speak on this rivalry, I remember I'll never forget this day. We always play them around Thanksgiving, and it was 2016 game, right? We're
JT
fighting.
short.
We're fighting. He was short. He was short. If
You just said a sliver of that sentence right there. And he just ignited him.
the ball is behind the marker. It doesn't matter where his body is. It's where the ball is. He was short. And my reaction by that's how you know this rivalry runs deep. That was almost 10 years ago, and I'm still pissed about it to this day.
Folks, isn't this a great time to have our first live video?
He was short. You can't tell me that he wasn't short. The game went to overtime, and 2 plays later, Curtis Samuels runs it in, and my heart was shattered. My heart was broken. We had a playoff spot on the line. We had a trip to the Big Ten championship on the line. I don't even know who played in the Big Ten championship other than Ohio State. I don't know who was coming in from the
Michigan.
West. It wasn't Michigan, Nick. But whoever was coming in for the West, we were just gonna kick their teeth in, and we were gonna make our first ever college football appearance. All right, but no, it was the world was against us. The world was against us, but
Yeah.
it's all good. We're getting our get back recently, and just the kind of animosity it brings. Like, like we have people saying that Ohio State's national championship is kind of an incomplete season because they didn't win the game. That they still have it's like they have an asterisk. In my opinion, not just because I'm a Michigan fan. Even if like Bama would go on to win a natty, but they lost to Auburn, like that, I feel like that like you have to beat your rival. Like it's not, especially in the way Ohio State lost last year to an unranked Michigan team, a team that they should have beat, and then what they did. I mean, you could even credit us with them winning the natty. I mean, we kind of
all y'all.
we
Right? It's all y'all.
Ohio State went to another level.
Yeah, exactly. You know why? Because they were playing. Excuse my language. Pissed off. They were playing mad.
Unfortunately, Notre Dame had to play them in.
Exactly. Sorry about that, Nick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that us outmanning them, belittling them.
I'm blaming our natty loss on Michigan.
Yeah. You know what? I'll take that. It's just every like my reaction just speaks to how how deep the rivalry runs, and even if like being a Michigan fan, if let's say last season was reversed and we lost to Ohio State but we won the natty, I would be happy about the natty, but I would still be like, dang, we still didn't beat Ohio State. I feel like it's almost an incomplete season. And I'll flip it over on the other side. No matter what happens that season, if Michigan's 1-11, but that one win is against Ohio State, it's almost like it's a successful season.
Yeah. Man, that got real personal.
Oh, it did. It did.
Wow.
It did.
But like one of the main reasons why I spoke about this Yankees and Red Sox rivalry, because as you love baseball, you know how much this rivalry means to baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, the 86-year championship drought that Red Sox have literally had a name for it because of this rivalry, because of the Babe Ruth situation, and that was the curse of the great Bambino.
Yeah.
And that's how deep it runs. We are talking 120 years of hatred, just consistent every year, and it seems like it gets worse every single year. And I understand, but I also think that also just comes with the college atmosphere as well for a rivalry.
Yeah,
because I mean, we look at the Palmetto Bowl as well here, the Clemson and Carolina. There's a lot of hatred in that too.
In order to have a great rivalry, I think you have to. The fans definitely play a part in it.
Yes,
and the atmosphere does as well. And when Michigan and Ohio State play, the atmosphere in the big house or in the shoe is insane.
Sorry, we're running.
Go longer. It's great.
We'll be back with the winner after the break.
I feel like we're on like MasterChef.
All right.
Survivor.
Welcome back to WCCU Radio, Coastal Carolina Cinema Radio Station. It is time to determine a winner.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to start with hardest position in football. We'll try to move quick here because, we only got 2.5 minutes. Yeah. Braxton had cornerback. And, you got all the main points. The margin for error is so tough. It's impossible to cover someone without the flags and the penalties.
Yeah.
If you mess up, you're talking about the zone coverage, and like if you don't do your job, you're probably giving up a touchdown, or like a 30-yard play.
Yeah.
So you hit the nail on the coffin. Same with Caleb. I wasn't expecting him to go center, but he did.
I love that.
You're talking about the communication that you have to have with the quarterback. You're trying to snap the ball, and then you got to look up, and it's like, oh, I have a bunch of guys I have to block.
Yeah.
And doesn't do their job. The play is blown up. It was tough, and it made me think. Like you guys really made me think on this one.
That's never. That's never good when Nick thinks.
Yeah, I know. I know that's not easy for you.
The winner here for this topic, I am gonna give it to Caleb.
Yeah, I agree.
I just thought.
Shout out to the guys in the trenches.
I just thought
shout out the big fellas.
The way he was talking about it, like it's pretty much like the quarterback, like you're the captain of the offense as well.
Yeah.
All right, biggest what if, Caleb? You had Len Bias.
Yeah.
Dude. The Jordan takeover you mentioned and how different the landscape could look.
Yeah.
23 points per game his senior year. That's unreal in college. The development that he could have had with the Celtics and how he could have like changed the course of the NBA and the Celtics and all those changes they could have won. Because he could have been like a top 5 player of all time.
Vets mean a lot.
Come on.
Good vets help out.
And then Braxton went with the Jordan. If Jordan retired, which I thought was really interesting, he had already won 3 straight, like you said.
Yeah.
He retires, comes back, and he wins 3 more. And just like you talk about how there would have been no Jordan versus LeBron debate. Like it would have been over. Jordan undisputed GOAT, and I don't think anybody would have argued it. And that's kind of why I went Braxton here.
Yeah.
Because I just thought that kind of swayed me the
Thank
most.
goodness I switched the argument.
Yeah.
From the marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
That was
gonna
good.
nail this real quick in the 20 seconds. Braxton had Yankees Sox. He mentioned the Babe Ruth, the Boone, all that. Caleb had Michigan, Ohio State. I am going with Caleb here.
Whoa.
Because as much as I love the Yankees Red Sox,
I was not expecting that.
I thought what he did with talking about like crossing out the M and just
Yeah.
how you can go 1-11
Yeah.
and your season is made.
It's from the heart.
I just thought, kind of really got me there. Like you go 1-11 and the season is, made. And like you said, you win a national championship and you still have that asterisk.
Yeah.
So Caleb is the winner in this closest sport.
It was an absolute
king of the court we've had. We'll see Caleb next week with a new challenger. Braxton, hopefully we can get you back on soon for the rematch. Thank you guys for listening to WCCU Radio. Signing off here.